Have you ever tried or even thought about submitting a lowball offer on a property you like? My name's Jennifer Turberfield with Benchmark Realty, working in Nashville and in Williamson County. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you the 3 things you can do that will make a massive difference in your chances of getting a lowball offer accepted. First of all, what is a lowball offer? A lowball offer is essentially just one that is considerably lower than what the seller wants. So the list price is stating what the seller would like for the property, and then a lowball offer is one that comes in considerably lower. So what exactly that amount is left undefined. Is it 5%? Is it 20%? A lowball offer is just an offer that comes in with a massive gap between where they're at and where the seller's at. So that creates a question. When you've got the seller up here with their list price, and then you've got the buyer coming in here with their purchase offer, who's right? Is the seller listed at fair market value and the buyer is just trying to maybe take advantage of a difficult market, be aggressive, score a deal? Or is the seller listed too high? They're languishing on the market and the buyer's coming in offering the true market value for the house and what is essentially a fair price. So here is the first thing you need to consider about lowballing, that if you've got a property that is just hit the market, it's priced very fairly, it's in great condition, it's in a good location, it's getting a ton of showings, you're not going to be able to lowball them because chances are it will be under contract by the end of the day. Lowballing only occurs where there is a disconnect between the house being on the market. I had a situation recently with a very popular house. The sellers had done everything right. They had staged the property, we'd priced it correctly, it was super clean, just a really nice market. It was getting a ton of showings. We had multiple offers on the first day, and I had one agent that kept ringing me up saying, "What price below list will your clients accept?" I'm like, well, why would they? They're getting a ton of offers. Why would you need to consider someone coming in super low when you don't need to? And it doesn't matter how good of a negotiator your realtor is. It doesn't matter what you put in your buyer love letter saying how much you love their decor and how you want to make cookies in their kitchen. If you're coming in considerably lower than everyone else, no amount of skill, negotiating, expertise is going to persuade someone to take a low offer over higher offers. So the more likely scenario is that the house that you've got your eye on has maybe been on the market a while. Perhaps they priced too high to start with. Maybe they've had 1, 2 price drops. They're not getting much activity anymore. And you see the opportunity to come in and maybe get it for a lot less. So the first thing you need to consider in trying to get your lowball offer accepted is to do your homework. Find out as much as you can about their circumstances. Who owns the property? Do they have children? Do they have pets? What's their circumstances? Do they have a property that they're buying? Call their agent, find out what their situation is, so you've got a better understanding of how you can configure your offer that can really help them. Because you can offer something that maybe doesn't cost you anything, but has a huge value to them. For example, post-close occupancy. So if you're able to do a 3 or 4 week close, a relatively quick close, the sellers can get their money from the house and then be a buyer themselves, or then have the certainty that when they're packing up, they know the house is already closed. This can be tremendously helpful. It stops people having to move twice, find rental accommodation, upheaval the whole family. So that is a really effective way that you can get sellers' attention. Or maybe they don't want a quick close. Maybe they want a long close. Maybe they want someone that can accommodate a 5-month close so they can see the end of the school year out. Whatever their situation is, if you can understand it and configure your offer to help them, that's a massive way that you can really help yourself out. The second step in getting your lowball offer accepted is to actually make a lowball offer. Now, this sounds ridiculously obvious, but so many times in these situations, what agents will do is text and say, "Hey, if my clients were to write this up, is it worth my time?" Or, "Hey, if we were to write this up, would your seller accept it?" And you have to consider that at this point, the sellers are upset. Their house isn't already under contract. They're angry, they're frustrated. And when you have to go to them as an agent and say, "Hey, I had a text, someone was offering 100 grand less than list price, what would your answer be?" Usually I wouldn't be able to repeat it here, what they actually say. It's usually a pretty sure no, and tell them to So if you want to make a lowball offer, actually make an offer. But more importantly, as part of this second part, get all your ducks in a row. Don't just make your purchase offer, do all the ancillary documents as well. Take a copy of your earnest money check, attach that, include a copy of your proof of funds or your pre-approval, attach that, have everything wrapped up. So you're conveying to them the only thing we need to get over is the price, because look how well prepared, look how organized, they've got all their ducks in a row. This is great, except from the price. So already you're starting to break down their objections to, do we even want to work with this person? So come prepared, get everything ready. Don't be texting saying, is it worth our time? Do it properly like you would a normal offer. The third step in getting your lowball offer accepted, and I think this is the most important step, is communicating with the sellers and conveying to them where you're coming from. Now, you may be asking, how do you get to do this? Because you don't get to sit down and have a coffee with them and go through it all. So what I would suggest is when you submit your offer, have your agent write up some explanations, write up some paragraphs that are going to outline the things I'm about to discuss. So number one, acknowledge first off that the offer you're presenting is not what they are hoping to get. Acknowledge their feelings. They're going to be feeling shocked, disappointed, upset, and say that. Say, we understand the offer that we're submitting is not what you're hoping to receive. But then go on to say, we are not trying to score a deal at anyone's expense. We are just trying to be fair to everyone. We're not trying to take advantage of you, but we don't want to be taken advantage of either. We're just trying to be fair. And fair is a good word to use because everyone has an understanding of it and everyone acknowledges that it's good to be fair to everyone. Secondly, come on and tell them what you like about the house. You know, why are you even making the offer if you're coming in so low? Do you really hate the house that much? No, we like the house. This is why we're making the offer, because we love the location. We love the 4 bedrooms. We love the floor plan. Now, don't be weird. Don't start going into, oh, you know, we want to make cookies in the kitchen again. Just tell them factually what you like about the house, what they've done that you appreciate, and the reasons essentially why you are interested in the house. And then come on to why in detail you're coming in at the price point that you're coming in at. And don't just say because of the comps or the market's turned. Go into detail and say, this first comp, this address, this house sold 4 months ago, totally renovated kitchen and bathroom in our subject house. They're not renovated. By our calculations, it would cost $80,000 to $100,000 to renovate these spaces. Or the house that sold down the road 5 months ago has a swimming pool. This house doesn't. You know, do your comps in detail. Know exactly what you're talking about. So what will happen when you put all this in detail? The agent receiving all this may very well have been trying to tell the sellers this. She may be very grateful for you outlining in detail where you're coming from, because most people don't. Most people just submit a low offer and that's it. But over time, when people have kind of absorbed the shock, they do read through it and they do think about it. And so what will probably happen if your agent writes it up really nicely and eloquently, the other agent receiving it will probably just forward it to the sellers so they can read through it. It may be, like I say, reinforcing what she's been trying to tell them. And when you're calm and collected and you write it nicely, it gives the other side the ability to know what you're thinking and to think it through themselves. Finally, I would conclude the text that you're sending, not the text, but the info in the email that you're sending them by saying what you've tried to do to help them out. You know, we understand you want a longer close, so we're offering that. We understand you want a shorter close, so we're offering that. Or our closing date is flexible, or, you know, this is what we're trying to create an offer that works for everyone here, but essentially this is where we're coming from. So what happens next? One of two things will happen next. The first thing is they may come back and try and negotiate. And if this happens, congratulations, this is a great step. It means that you've overcome in how you've managed and how you submitted your offer, the massive objection to the lowball that you submitted, and this is a great stage. Now, obviously, If you can, I would suggest you come up a tiny bit in your offer. It's good to give the sellers an opportunity to kind of save face rather than just being really hardball and just sticking with your original lowball. The other thing you can do is to make your inspection a pass-fail. This means that you can still have all your inspections, but you're saying to them, we won't come back and ask for repairs, and we won't come back and try and nickel and dime you and get more money off. Because this is a big objection sellers have when they are dealing with a buyer who has been very aggressive and has come in very low. They're scared that at inspection stage, it's going to be another round of give us more money off. And they're thinking, well, how low do we go? So if in the negotiation to purchase the property, you're able to say, hey, we understand, you're accepting this price, and in return we won't come back at a later stage and try and get more money off. Having said that, you're still leaving the door open that if things come up on the home inspection that don't work for you, you're able to get your owner's money back and walk away from the house. The other thing that could happen is nothing at all. Maybe you don't hear from them. Maybe it's just complete silence, or maybe they come back and say no. If this happens, just wait. Just wait. Just take the high road initially and say, okay, thank you. We understand. If you change your mind, the door is open. But then do nothing. Wait probably 5 days to a week, and then go through the whole thing again. Resubmit your offer. You don't need to do the whole email with all your thoughts and everything, but resubmit the offer just a tiny bit higher and say, there's a lot we like about this house. We're having one final push. If this doesn't work, if this we've increased it a little bit, if this isn't going to work for you, we understand, we wish you the best, and we will move on to other properties. But we've been thinking about your house and we just wanted to have one last try. Often what happens in that intermediate week, the sellers have mulled on the offer, and sometimes they need a bit of time to kind of manage the upset and the realization that maybe they're not going to get the price that they wanted. And sometimes they have regret that, oh my gosh, we could be under contract by now, but we let them go. So when you come back a week later, it's important you do try and improve your offer a little bit. You could either come up in the purchase price or you could do the pass fail, but give them something to say, hey, we understand maybe our first offer didn't work for you. How about this? We've sweetened it a little bit. But also state in the offer, if this isn't going to work for you, we will be moving on. This is our last attempt. And using all of these techniques, you'd be amazed how many lowball offers I've been able to get accepted for my clients. Good luck.